when the feeling's right. Get down on it. Get down on it.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life, and I have Chicago Mike on the show today from Kool the Gang.
Hi.
Wait. Let me do this. I have to put it up to my mic. So if you don't know Kool the Gang, go look up Kool the Gang. Celebrate good times.
Jungle Boogie. Get
Jungle
down
Boogie.
on it. Get down
Get
on
down
it.
on. Wait, let's do Get Down on It. Get down on it.
Yeah.
If you wanna.
There you go.
Okay. All right. All right. I will go. I'm not a singer, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So you have been with the band for over 30 years?
Yeah, it's quite a long time, since 1985.
Wow. So you've been through a lot of experience.
I've worn out 5 passports.
Wow. That's so awesome. How did you get, what was your start with Kool the Gang? Because they were not Kool the Gang to begin with.
Right. Well, I found that out later as I joined the group. The group started out in 1964 as the Jazzy Acts.
Okay.
They were strictly a jazz band, instrumental band. And then they grew to be a band with lead singers dancing high energy in 1969. And that's when the group really found themselves in R&B and pop with Jungle Boogie, Hollywood Swinger. Okay.
Now, when the climax of Kool the Gang, would that have been in the late 70s, or was that
late
in
70s
the
and early 80s?
Early 80s, because that's what I
when
remember, yeah.
James J.T. Taylor joined the band as the lead vocalist.
Uh-huh.
And that's when they expanded to do singing. And that's when they started with Emergency, Too Hot, Celebration, of course, Ladies' Night, Get Down on It, you know. And that really put the group on the map.
Right. And so tell the story of how you ended up with Kool the Gang, because you had a band.
Yes, I had a local band out of Chicago called Power Pack.
Okay.
Okay.
Power
'Cause we were-
Pack?
Yeah, PAC.
Okay.
Power, PAC.
Okay.
Because we were a high energy band also.
Okay.
And we made our name around the Chicago area in the early 80s. And one of the Kool the Gang security guys caught our act in a club in Chicago. And we became friends. And he decided, this was in the early 80s, before 85, I think 84. And he said, hey, you would like to meet my group? I said, sure. And I went to Minneapolis with him, because he said that they were rehearsing on Prince's new soundstage called Paisley Park. And I got to meet the guys, and I started out as a stylist choreographer. Okay, because he introduced me as that. And once they saw that I could do some other things, they said, we need to have you on stage. So I started first of all, I started opening. Kool's brother, who's the main writer of the group, Ronald Khalees Bell, he decided, hey, you're such a great dancer, we need some energy in the beginning of the show. So what we need for you to do, back then we had the big boom boxes.
Yes.
He said, I'm going to put a tape together at 5-second intervals for all Kool the Gang songs. And I want you to wear a jogging suit, and I want you to walk across the stage like you're a little boy walking down the neighborhood with your boombox on your shoulder, and every time a Kool the Gang song come on, you bust into a move. So that's the way it went. I started out doing moves on the stage, and so that was the opening for the band. And then they said, well, we need you a little bit more. So I started coming on doing background singing and just working the whole show.
Wow.
And just creating, as we went along, just creating even more moves for the band.
Wow. So what was it like at the height of all of that? Did you enjoy that, or was that insanely crazy? Because most of us will never know what that's like.
Well, I'll say that it's enjoyment because the entertainment business from movies to music,
Uh-huh.
I'll have to be honest with you. It's all about ego.
Yeah.
People feeding your ego. Of course, they appreciate you, but it's ego.
Uh-huh.
Look at me, I'm out front. Look at me, look what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so that's a high in itself.
Uh-huh.
And to go overseas, even now, the band is still well celebrated.
Right.
And we can go over there and do festivals with 200,000 people. In fact, we did Kenya, Africa, about 5 years ago in the park, and it was 450,000 people out there.
Wow.
It was so many people that we had to go through the people on a little red school bus, not yellow school bus, red school bus. And they were rocking the bus, and I got so nervous.
I thought they were going to tell you over.
To and from the stage. But it was a wonderful experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
So have you had any experience that has just been, crazy fans or paparazzi, or because you guys are at that level where, the main band, I'm sure people are taking pictures of them and.
Sure, all the time. But right now, it's I guess we've become the old school.
Well, you've settled.
Yeah.
You've really become a. You're legendary.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a piece in American history that nobody else will ever have. You guys have that.
Yeah.
And yeah, now you're at a point where, people aren't, trying to.
Yeah, well, they still want to take pictures and still want autographs,
Right.
but the rush is not like it was,
Mm-hmm.
Now you got the Backstreet Boys and Usher and Jay-Z and Beyonce getting all that attention.
Right.
Okay, we're old school.
Oh,
So-
well, they're kind of like old school now.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting up there. Yeah.
But it's still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The only thing that I kind of dread at this point in time in my career is the 8, 10, 12-hour flights.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe we flew out of here about 3 years ago, went to South Africa. And I've been on planes now for 30 years. And I did not know that a plane can stay in the air 17 hours.
Wow.
And I flew out of Hartsfield to South America for 17 hours.
Wow.
One flight. And
Is that
that
not
was
amazing?
that was amazing and crazy.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, it was something to behold.
So, how do you think that the band has? I want to get into some inspiration. So, through your experience, how has the band touched? What legacy has it left?
Well, basically, we're responsible for a group that came out in '90 called Color Me Bad.
Uh-huh.
I wanna sex you up.
Uh-huh.
We're also responsible for the Fugees. I don't know if you remember them, R&B band from.
I recognize the name.
Yeah. In fact, some people would know the Fugees.
Uh-huh.
And so we left a trail, and we really tried to teach, and still do now.
Yeah.
It's just that the guys, everybody's kind of gotten along in age.
Uh-huh.
So we still do 75 to 110 dates a year.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Most of them overseas,
Uh-huh.
but we still do them. And that takes a lot out of the guys,
Yeah.
because you're talking about since '64. And in fact, in 2014, we celebrated 50 years. And in 2016, 2 years ago, we got a Hollywood star, a Walk of Fame in LA. You can go on the internet and see the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can walk down the street in LA and see Kool and the Gang Square. Yeah.
If you wouldn't have met them, where do you think do you think with your band you would have been able to take it that far? How did it
I don't
change
know.
you?
I don't know. I was a struggling young artist back then. In fact, I came out of school in the '70s,
Uh-huh.
and I went into marketing, believe it or not. But this just was not my calling. I love music from when I was 10 years old. In fact, Michael Jackson was my idol, and he was 5 years younger than me.
Wow.
It was from Gary, Indiana, next door to Chicago. And I always didn't want to be Michael, but I wanted to be one of the Jacksons.
Yeah.
So I started my own band and just really followed the music business and worked around Chicago. And I just got lucky, I guess. I got lucky with Power Pack.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I have for you, I'm going to give you, it's just a little treat to say thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being a gift in life. Thank you for being part of an amazing band that will, I mean, people will, celebration. I heard that that's not even like Kool the Gang's favorite song. I don't know if that's true, but it's a song that will last forever. If you have any advice to give to go back to you when you were in Power Pack, what advice would you give to yourself at that point?
Well, today...
Because at that point you didn't know.
Right. Today, the music business has changed so much. Today, musicians come from computers. They don't know how to play instruments.
Yeah.
And they create music on a computer, on a laptop. And I would say that it's just like the world. Everything comes back around. And I think the young folks should get into school and learn how to play instruments, because that's going to really give you the true sound and the true ideas of how to be creative.
Right.
You know, computers create things for you. You know what I'm saying? But if you learn how to play a trumpet, if you learn how to play the piano, then you're really learning the basics of where everything came from.
Yeah. The music business has really gotten into where it's just put out things and put out things fast. And yeah, we've lost that beautiful sound of real music. That's sad. That's what made me cry.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Kool the Gang, Earth, Wind & Fire, and the Commodores are still working.
Yeah.
Is because they still have 8, 10, 12 guys on stage. Everybody has an instrument and they're playing their instrument. So that's something that I would pass on to young folks. Put the time in, put the energy in, and be faithful to an instrument.
Yeah.
Because that's going to teach you how to be creative.
Yeah.
The computer always creates for you, and so it's, you know.
Right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much
I wish
for
I could
having
just
me.
stay and like talk to you for like hours and hours, but my director's making us quit.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you again. And whenever the group is in town, I'll bring everybody in.
Please do. Oh my God, I'd
Absolutely.
be so happy.
Thank you.
Guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and we'll be glad to answer them. We hope this segment inspired and educated you.